Hello, lovers. Hello, sexy people. Hello, passionate people. I've been thinking about how to launch my love stories career. I've been writing a lot of poetry, but it's time to get the books done now. And I'm contemplating either I do a love story, which is a continuous love story, but I do an episode each morning, an audio episode and an actual text episode as well. Or I was even considering improvising. I thought, I wonder how that would work. I mean, it'd be quite hard, but it would be quite interesting, I think. But maybe you'd need some friends to help you do that. The sort of thing I have in mind would be you would have two characters to start with, and then somebody would give you a notion, an idea, and you'd have to include it in that morning's episode. And you would literally just improvise it with no notes, just talk about, what happens in their day. And it would be such a challenge, wouldn't it? But I do think that's a bit too tricky. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking. I think it's a really good idea if I was doing a degree in performance art or theatre. It would be really a brilliant way to perfect your live performance skills and your improv. But, those days are gone for me. I'm an old lady now. So what I really want to do is sort of channel a bit of Barbara Cartland. And I don't have a secretary, sadly. But we don't need secretaries anymore because we have what do you call it? A talk-to-text. We've all got talk-to-texts on our phones and on our laptops. So I could actually lie here in my pink negligee, a la Barbara Cartland, and recite to an imaginary secretary who's actually a piece of equipment, my iPad. And I'd find that quite good fun, actually. And then so I'd read it to the iPad, and then I've got all the ideas down then, and then I obviously have to type it up. Or actually, you don't have to type it up. What am I saying? I don't have to type it up. You read it through, get rid of the rubbishy bits that don't sound good, and keep the other stuff, and then just literally press publish. That's the written text published. But of course, I don't really want to publish written text anymore unless it's in a book. So what would I do? Well, I'd take it straight to my AI and tell it to read it out loud. That would be the quickest way. If it wasn't too long a piece, I guess I could do it. But you know what, guys? I make a lot of mistakes when I read. I sort of tumble over myself because I rush things a bit. So you've got to go in and correct, all the bits where you stumbled. To be fair, it's annoying. So I prefer to get an AI reader, and I've got a nice AI reader now. I don't think it would impact on the enjoyment of my love story. So really, this is just an introduction to this new podcast because I've called it by my name, Sonne de la Mare, FRSA. I'm a fellow of the Royal Society of Arts, in case you wondered, and I'm a writer. And as I say, I want to do something a little bit meatier now. So I already write a sci-fi, and that goes out when I get around to it, basically. I was attempting to really create a multimedia a concept with it, and it's proving too much for one little old lady. So I'm having to rein things in a bit. But, that's going to be a sort of weekly publication from now on. Well, I'm getting another 10 episodes up over the coming days, so you'll actually be able to go and you can buy those on Kindle. You can read them on Kindle for free, but the book will come out in probably next week. But the time is I'm ready now to write something a little bit more adult, I think, for some more adult concepts. Now, I did start a book, and I wasn't too sure of my footing, called Betrayal Protocol, and I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm going to kind of pursue because it's a bit of crime, a bit of MI6, a little bit of sex and sexiness, and love, amore, and that's what we need, isn't it? all the intrigue, a sort of multi-genre love story, rather than just literally Barbara Cartland was just all about love, wasn't it? And who's the other one? Gilly Collins, is it? Oh, I can't remember what her name is. It's not that. It's not her. I've just completely made up an author. But yes, these sort of scenarios, they're a bit Midsummer Murders, where you have riding and crops and something rather upper middle class but sexual, filled with fantasy. Do we like that anymore? Is that not old-fashioned by today's standards? Do young people even read love stories anymore? I have no idea. So anyway, this podcast is going to be lots and lots of public domain stories to have over coffee, because I can't write all of the necessary things for this podcast. But I will be uploading lots of free love stories, which, what I think is really, really good with a love story that's in the public domain? You can change the characters around. You can, if you wanted, you could take it to AI and get the AI to change the characters and make it a bit more modern. I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll try that in a minute. It's a fantastic idea. So you put in the storyline, but I mean, you can tell your AI. You can say, I've got this really good idea for a story. James meets Sarah. Da 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 da. Could you write up this story for me? And what your AI does, and it does it quite succinctly, quite well, and obviously very quickly. It will break down ideas and tell you concepts of each sort of chapter. And the problem with AI, it tells you A to B, but it doesn't tell you how to get there. And the whole purpose of a love story is it's a story and you know exactly how they got there. You don't want to know that two people are born and eventually they get married and then they die. You want to know the juicy in-betweens. The detail is where the devil lies. We know that. As writers, we know to look inside, find the detail, open the box, etc., etc. That's what we want. We want the dirt. We want the intrigue. We want the secrets. That's what we want. And as writers, that's what we have to write. And we have to concentrate very hard and think about it. And of course, we need a wealth of experience, because I tell you what, AI doesn't have a wealth of experience. AI only repeats what's already been written. And the experiences in your head as a potential writer, or indeed as somebody who's lived a life, you don't write anything, but there's so much information in there. You have a mind filled with experiences that an AI doesn't have. So storytelling from the human mind is by far and away the best storytelling, the most exciting, the most intoxicating storytelling that I've ever come across. And do you know what? Sometimes I even shock myself. I think, where did that come from? And I vaguely remember something I did, 40 years ago. And I think, oh, yeah, that's where that came from, darlings. And it's really exciting and it's really novel and it's really good, because only you have the experiences that only you can have and have ever had. And that is a mine. And it needs to be drawn out, even if it's only with you and your Bezzy over a cup of coffee. Do you see what I mean? Draw it out, think hard, talk about it, exciting. Don't die with all your secrets. Share them with the group, darlings. Share them with the group. Anyway, that's just by way of an introduction what I'm going to be doing. So a bit later on, I've just got I'm a composer, so I've just composed a track for a book I'm writing. Another book of immersion. That's my sci-fi adventure. That's why it takes so long, darlings, because I have to write. Well, I don't have to, but I do. I'm a slave to it. I'm a slave to this book of immersion, and I write a tune for each episode and do the animation. So that's why it takes so long. It's so laborious. I just want to wake up in the morning and channel Barbara Cartland over my coffee. That's all I want to do. That's what I'm going to do starting tomorrow. So yes, do listen to my podcasts and do contact me. I've got a blog, estelamer.com. blogspot.com. That's the one. It's called Lit Bits, which I just think is delightful. Lit Bits. Say it, Lit Bits. It's all about tonguing and lipping. Lit Bits. I think it's a very, very passionate name. Anyway, it's bits of literature, basically. So it's poems and prose and lots of waffling on about how to write books and things like that. If you pop along there, there's a contact, the contact bit thing, section. Sometimes, even though I'm a writer, I completely forget appropriate words. Isn't it funny how we do that? Anyway, there's a section on the right, I believe. Scroll down and you will see a contact form. Message me. Tell me things. Tell me your secrets. Tell me your secrets and tell me your lies, and I will put them in a chapter of my lovers podcasts, and we'll enjoy the rest of the day. Because when you start the day with a secret, it just gets more exciting.